Welcome to the Hub of Vision Show, your go-to podcast for the most influential books from the greatest minds in business. We're talking marketing, influence, productivity hacks, sales, and more, all to help you accelerate your vision. Get ready for insights and strategies that drive success. You're tuned in to the Hub of Vision Show, where your business vision takes off now.
Welcome back. It's awesome to have you here for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling something I know you're all keen to understand, and that's the psychology of persuasion.
Right.
You know, it just feels so relevant these days with the sheer volume of information we're all dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
To help us navigate all this, we're turning to the epilogue of Robert Cialdini's Influence.
Yep.
He really digs into how persuasion works in, our modern digital world.
Yeah.
Have you ever, felt like you're making decisions on autopilot?
Uh-huh.
Well, get this, there's actually a science behind it.
It's so true. Imagine being bombarded with choices every single day.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what to buy, where to eat, which news to trust.
Yeah.
It's completely overwhelming, right?
It is.
Our brains have actually developed these mental shortcuts to try and cope.
Interesting.
They help us, decide quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Cialdini calls them weapons of influence, and it's actually because they could be so powerful.
Wow. Weapons of influence.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of intense,
It is. I mean, they could actually
Yeah.
sway our choices
Really?
without us even realizing it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you give us a real-life example of how this works?
Sure. Think about choosing a restaurant online.
Okay.
You probably don't sit there and read every single review, do you?
No, definitely not.
You might glance at the star rating.
Yeah, or
scan a few highlights.
yeah, totally.
They're basically taking a shortcut there,
Interesting.
relying on the collective opinion of others to kind of guide your decision.
Makes sense.
Cialdini calls this social proof.
Oh, okay, social proof.
Yeah.
So, are there any other weapons that we should be aware of?
Absolutely. Cialdini actually identifies several key shortcuts,
Okay.
including scarcity,
Ew.
authority, and
Right.
reciprocation.
Okay.
And they all tap into our deep-seated psychological tendencies.
I have to say, scarcity always gets me. If you tell me there's a limited time offer, I suddenly need that item.
Even if I didn't even know it existed 5 minutes ago.
That's exactly it.
It's just, I don't know.
That's the power of scarcity.
Yeah.
It triggers this fear of missing out,
Right.
which makes us act, kind of impulsively.
Yeah.
But, and this is, where the whole ethics thing comes in,
Uh-huh.
this tactic can be misused.
Oh, okay.
Like, creating false scarcity
Right.
to drive sales might work in the short term,
I could see that.
but it really erodes trust in the long run.
Totally agree. It's like that saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Right.
If I feel, manipulated by a brand,
Yeah.
I'm way less likely to trust them again.
Precisely. Building that long-term trust is essential for any business or brand.
Right.
So let's kind of explore how to use these shortcuts ethically,
Okay.
starting with social proof.
Okay, so if I see a bunch of people raving about, a new coffee shop, I'm way more likely to try it myself.
Right. It's like my brain is saying, hey, if everyone else likes it,
Yeah.
it must be good.
Yeah.
But, how can new businesses use social proof when they don't have, that built up reputation yet?
That's a great question. Starting small is key.
Okay.
Offering your product or service to a select group just to get some honest feedback,
Right.
that can be a great way to kind of build those initial testimonials.
Makes sense.
And it establishes credibility even in those early stages.
Yeah, it's about building the foundation of trust, right from the ground up.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about authority?
Okay.
How does that shortcut play out in marketing?
Well, authority leverages the power of, experts or credentials.
Right.
Imagine seeing a health product endorsed by doctors.
Okay.
You'd naturally associate it with expertise and credibility.
For sure.
Or think about those that 9 out of 10 dentists recommend claims.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even just quoting, a relevant statistic from a reputable source
Right.
that can make your message way more persuasive.
It's like celebrity endorsements, right?
Exactly.
We see a famous athlete promoting, a brand of sportswear.
Yeah.
And we just think, well, if it's good enough for them,
Right.
it must be good enough for me.
Yeah.
Even if that athlete isn't a sportswear expert.
Exactly. We tend to trust the opinions of those we perceive as authorities.
Yeah.
Even if their expertise is, in a totally different field.
Right.
And this is why using genuine authority rather than like fabricated or irrelevant endorsements is so crucial for ethical persuasion.
So using authority ethically means like being transparent about the source and making sure it's actually relevant to your product or message.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Now back to my favorite, scarcity. We've established I fall for it easily.
Yeah.
But how can brands use it in a way that's not, manipulative?
Well, authenticity is key.
Okay.
So if there's like a limited time offer,
Right.
be very clear about WHY. It's limited.
Okay.
Maybe you have limited stock, or the discount is tied to a specific event.
Right.
Consumers really appreciate transparency and honesty.
Yeah, for sure. I remember this one online store, and they showed exactly how many items were left in stock.
Oh, wow.
And it made the scarcity feel very real, and I definitely felt that sense of urgency. It wasn't just some vague limited time claim.
Yeah.
That's
a great example.
Yeah.
The store basically provided a specific reason for the scarcity.
Right.
Which made it, more credible and engaging.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about how technology is playing a role in all of this.
Okay.
It's actually amplifying these shortcuts, in ways that we've, never seen before.
Yeah, this is where it gets a bit mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
I've heard about, AI and these algorithms
That are personalizing our online experiences.
It is, it's both fascinating and a little unsettling.
Okay.
Think about it, your online experience, it's being tailored
Right.
based on your past behavior, your preferences, even your demographics.
Wow.
So, if you tend to respond to ads that emphasize social proof, you'll probably see more of those in the future.
It's like they know exactly what buttons to push to get us to click or buy.
It's a valid concern, definitely. So does this mean are we becoming even more susceptible to these weapons of influence?
Potentially, yeah.
Without even realizing it?
It's possible.
Wow, okay.
But it also means that we, as consumers, we need to become more aware and discerning.
So knowledge is power, as they say.
Exactly.
But knowing, that these shortcuts are being used on us, it feels a bit I don't know, seeing the Matrix,
Oh.
Now we see the code.
Right.
So what can we do?
Well, that's the first step, right?
Okay.
Awareness is key.
Okay.
Now that you understand, these shortcuts,
Right.
you can start to actually recognize them. In the marketing messages that you encounter every single day.
So when I see an ad that screams limited time offer, I can take a step back and ask myself, is this genuine scarcity, or are they just trying to pressure me into buying?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you can even dig a little deeper,
do
some research, read reviews, compare prices.
Right.
Don't let yourself be swayed by just a single trigger.
Okay.
No matter how powerful it might be.
So it's about being an informed and a critical consumer.
Yes.
Not letting those, mental shortcuts make those decisions for us.
Exactly.
But sometimes, I don't know, those ads are just so slick.
They are, yeah.
Do you have any other tips for resisting that urge to click buy now?
Well, I think a big one is just pay attention to your gut feeling.
Okay.
If something feels off about a marketing message, trust your instincts. It might be a sign that, someone's trying to take advantage of your inherent biases.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sometimes our intuition just knows that something's up.
Right.
Before our rational brain can even catch on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And, and don't be afraid to walk away.
Okay.
If you're just not comfortable with a marketing tactic, or if a brand seems shady, just say no.
Yeah.
There are plenty of other businesses out there who will treat you with respect.
It's like taking back your power as a consumer. And choosing to support brands that align with your values. Okay, so we've talked about how consumers can, protect themselves.
Right.
But what about the marketers? What does this all mean for them?
Well, Cialdini argues that in today's noisy world, marketers can actually stand out
Okay.
by being honest.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So you're saying that like being upfront about limitations and, not exaggerating claims,
Right.
that's actually a good marketing strategy.
Think about it.
Oh.
In a world of like all these hyped up marketing messages,
Yeah?
authenticity is refreshing.
Okay.
When a brand is transparent,
Right.
it builds trust.
It's like that old saying, honesty is the best policy.
Right.
Maybe it applies to marketing, too.
Absolutely. I mean, consumers are smart.
Yeah.
They can see through like BS.
Mm-hmm.
And when a brand is honest,
Yeah.
it just shows that they respect their audience.
So if a company says something like, hey, this product isn't for everyone, but if you're looking for X, Y, and Z, then it's like perfect for you.
That actually makes me more likely to trust them.
Exactly, because it shows that they're not just trying to like make a quick sale.
Okay.
They're trying to connect with the right customers.
Okay, so honesty and transparency.
Yeah.
Check.
Wow.
What else can marketers do to use these principles like responsibly?
Well, remember that, social proof is most effective when it's genuine.
Right.
So instead of like fabricating testimonials, showcase real customer experiences.
Okay.
Highlight case studies that really demonstrate the value that your product provides.
And when it comes to authority, focus on like aligning with credible experts.
Yes.
Whose knowledge, genuinely relates to your offering.
Absolutely.
Don't just like chase celebrity endorsements for the sake of it.
It has to be relevant.
Yeah. And with scarcity, as we've, discussed,
right.
ensure that any limitations are like real.
Yes.
And clearly explained.
Yeah. Don't create, false urgency just to pressure people into buying.
Exactly.
So it's about using these shortcuts as like tools to enhance communication and build trust.
Right.
Not as weapons to like manipulate or deceive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And, all of this kind of brings up another fascinating aspect, I think.
Okay.
As AI and technology become, more sophisticated.
Right.
We're likely to see even more personalized persuasion tactics.
Okay.
Like, imagine a world where every ad that you see is perfectly tailored to your unique psychological profile.
Okay, that's both cool and terrifying at the same time.
It is.
Like, it's amazing how technology can, personalize our experiences.
Right.
But it also feels a bit intrusive.
It does. It definitely raises a lot of ethical questions.
Yeah. Like, how much data should companies, be able to collect about us?
Right. Exactly.
And how do we, like, ensure that these powerful technologies are being used responsibly?
That's a huge question.
Yeah. And honestly, one that I don't think has, like, an easy answer.
It's a conversation we as a society need to be having, for sure.
Definitely. So much to think about.
Yeah.
But for now, I think, let's bring it back to the key takeaways from Cialdini's work.
Yeah.
He really emphasizes that understanding these shortcuts allows us to become, more discerning consumers.
For sure.
And, for those in marketing,
right,
more ethical practitioners.
It's about, because these techniques can be incredibly effective.
Yeah.
But they should be used to connect with your audience authentically, not to, mislead.
Yeah, it all comes down to, building those genuine, lasting relationships that are based on trust and, mutual respect.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a message that resonates, like, no matter what side of the, the marketing equation you're on. But before we wrap up, I want to kind of turn the tables a bit.
Okay.
So this whole deep dive has been all about, understanding how persuasion works.
Right.
But I'm curious, what shortcuts do you find most persuasive? Think about your own experiences as a consumer.
Yeah.
What makes you, trust a brand or distrust a brand?
That's a really great question for self-reflection.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just get caught up in the daily whirlwind of, marketing messages that we forget to actually analyze our own responses.
Totally. Yeah. So maybe, you're drawn to brands that showcase tons of positive customer reviews. Or perhaps you find yourself clicking on those limited time offer ads, even though it's a classic scarcity tactic.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the more we understand our own like vulnerabilities to these shortcuts, the better equipped we are to make, conscious decisions.
And if you're a marketer, like, this self-awareness is even more crucial.
Absolutely.
It allows you to connect with your audience authentically.
Right.
Using these principles, ethically.
Yeah, because ultimately, we're not just talking about, like, selling products or services.
Right.
We're talking about, like, building relationships.
Relationships built on trust, transparency, and a genuine understanding of human psychology.
I think that's what makes, Cialdini's work so timeless and relevant. It's not just about these, like, tricks or tactics. It's about understanding the fundamental principles of human behavior.
Well said. I think on that note, it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of persuasion.
Yeah, but before we go, I want to leave you with, like, one final thought.
Okay.
We touched on, the potential and the potential risks of AI-powered marketing personalization.
Yeah.
But what about the ethics of this technology?
Right.
Like, how do we balance the benefits of personalization with the need for privacy and data security?
That's a huge question.
It is.
And one that, honestly, deserves a deep dive of its own.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a conversation we need to be having as technology advances, and maybe, just maybe, it's something we could explore in a future episode. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea.
Would you be interested in joining us for that?
Absolutely. I mean,
awesome.
But until then, keep those mental shortcuts in check.
Yes.
Stay curious. And we'll catch you on our next deep dive.
Sounds good.
I hope you're leaving with some powerful takeaways to fuel your success. But don't stop here. Take it to the next level. For more insights, head over to hubofvision.com/podcast, where you'll find illustrations and infographics designed to impact your brain in a whole new way. Visualize your success and absorb these strategies deeper to become the excelling entrepreneur you're meant to be. Visit hubofvision.com/podcast and level up your vision today.